Okay, this is Hideous C doing a replay analysis. Fizz mid into Vlad. We're in gold 5. We're taking a look at basic laning mechanics and decision making, especially heading into late laning phase and mid game. Dude, you gotta duck. Doesn't happen every game. It might just be because of the replay. Okay, so I'm not sure why you recall here. I'm assuming it's because you're going to stick around and wait for a potion. Which, to be honest, is almost never going to be worth it. That little bit of extra health is not worth giving up the lane pressure you end up losing. Because the minions are going to spawn, they spawn at 1:30, and you end up having to wait until minute 35 to get that extra pot. It's not a gigantic difference, and sometimes you'll be able to get away with it. But someone like Vlad is able to push the lane hard enough that by the time you get to lane, he's already well on his way to pushing toward level 2 potentially, depending on how hard he pushes. So, and because he's ranged and just has all the area effect abilities that he does, he already has kind of an advantage coming into lane as far as pushing for a level advantage and effective lane position. And so you end up kind of giving him a lot of breathing room right off the bat, because as soon as this minion goes down, he's going to be level 2. And then you're going to have a really hard time actually even sticking around and farming at all, and you haven't even gotten through the first wave. So he shoves at the turret, and you're going to lose a lot of CS to the turret here. Yep, it's 3 at least, 4, 5... He lost 6, he lost a whole wave to the turret. So, that's the thing. I mean, yeah, this extra potion, it might be kind of nice. It might do okay for you. It gives you a little bit more breathing room. Honestly, between the flask, 2 red pots, and a blue pot, if that's not enough to stick around in lane until until you've got enough gold to go buy something, then there's something else going on wrong with your laning that needs to be worked on. And so you gotta use that budget wisely, because it's not just because you're late to lane. Vlad has some inherent advantages, but when you're late to lane plus those inherent advantages in this lane, that just makes it really easy for him to bully you into position. And yeah, like I say, now he's got you over a barrel kind of, because you lost a whole wave to that turret, and he's going to be pushing level 3 here pretty quick. So the thing with Vlad, especially with the melee versus Vlad, is you want to try to avoid trading with him, and instead look to just always go all in on him. Okay, so that was what you basically did there, but you neglected to account for the minion wave. So let's look at this again. Okay, so the cannon minion goes down. You've got 3 caster minions here. So these caster minions are... the melee minions are a little harder to kill, but the caster minions do a lot more damage. So if you're ever thinking about going all in, it can be kind of nice to kill at least 1 or 2 of those. You both have Ignite. He's rocking boots pots, and you're rocking just straight pots. So he hit you with that. That ability has about a 5-second cooldown, give or take a little bit. So you've got a window where you could go in on him. So it's kind of weird that you decide to wait until right then. I get that he's kind of out of position. He steps forward, and that gives you room to jump in like that. But this to me doesn't say all in. You got to kind of read the situation a bit here. So he stepped in to... Let me back it up just a little bit. Okay, So he steps in, he casts an auto attack, and then he casts that ability again. So that ends up hitting you. So you waited until that ability was on cooldown, or to off cooldown. So he used it, and then you went in right as it was coming back up off cooldown. So if you had gone in when he used it the first time, or waited until he used it on these 3 minions, and then gone in on him, then you avoid that initial bit of damage, and that's actually enough to win you this trade all by itself. Then you can look to immediately Playful Trickster, because he's immediately going to be looking, as soon as you jump on him, he's immediately going to look to hit you with his Q, and plus you've got these caster minions that are now attacking you. And so you can accomplish 2 things. You can Playful Trickster and avoid his Q, and then land on these minions and probably kill at least one of them, and still do damage to him while he's in range. Okay, so it looks like he actually did manage to Playful Trickster his Q, I think. I'm going to actually go back again and slow this down a little bit. Okay, so so you know what he's gonna do. Look at me. You can see all 3 of these minions low. You know that's what that ability does. So you see him walking up. You see him walk up, and that's when you go. But if you wait until this moment and you're still back here, then he casts that ability still, because that's what he walked up to do in the first place. He kills those minions, and you don't take any damage, and then you go in on him. Okay, so he tried to use his Q there. It didn't go on cooldown, I don't think. I'm not sure if you dodged that deliberately or if it was just kind of good timing. But it does allow him to back his way up a bit here, and so it just ends up being over aggressive. If you're going to, and other thing too, if you're going to hit him with Ignite, you got to hit him sooner, because his Q especially gives him sustain, right? And he's gonna pop a potion. He's got pots and he's got sustain in his kit. So if you jump in after he uses his E and dive on him and then hit him, I would immediately Playful Trickster so you can kill a minion or 2 and do damage, and then hit him with your Ignite immediately, so that when he hits you with his Q, the sustain, it only heals him up for half of what it normally would, plus the potions that he's chugging are only half as effective. And at that point, that's honestly probably already a kill. Just about hit him with 1 or 2 more auto attacks and he's dead. The reason he survives here is because he's allowed to get a bunch of his sustain for free before you ignite him, and then the whole time he's kited you back into his minion wave, and so then he ignites you when you're toast. You don't have a way to get away from this. Your Playful Trickster is down, you're in a minion wave, you're ignited, and that's what ends up killing you here. And so you stuck around, again, for too long, not realizing how much damage the minions are going to do. So any one of those things done a little differently would have won you this trade. If you had gone in a little bit more opportunely when his one ability wasn't on cooldown, if you'd ignited his Q, I think even if you had just killed a couple of those minions, that might have honestly been enough. That would have been a little closer, but... The important thing with Vlad, with any matchup, is that you play around his cooldowns. Especially his Q, which is his most annoying laning ability, because it does a lot of damage and it heals him. It has a long cooldown, and so does his pool. And so, if you are able to kind of bide your time and have patience until he uses those cooldowns to farm, which he almost always will, then that gives you a pretty sizable window to be aggressive in. So just in general, though, you could have probably won that trade if you'd played it better. It still was a little bit questionable whether that was a great idea to go in at all, though. You know, it's the kind of thing where you could easily dive in with Urchin Strike and then Playful Trickster out and have done a bunch of damage that he can't easily return, especially when you're under your turret like that. So you can whittle him down until he gets a little low enough that it's just an absolute sure thing that you can kill him, rather than a pretty risky thing that you have to play perfectly to win. So right now he has a kill on you, and he is almost double your CS. So you are picking up a Amp Tome and a Ward. The Ward is good. He's well on his way to his Hextech Revolver. Speeding up a little bit. So once Vlad does kind of get a lead like this, he becomes pretty difficult to stop. And so you almost have to kind of just hand him the lane, farm what you can, and look to make an impact elsewhere. Or wait for him to make a mistake. You can throw your ward down. At this point I would just throw it down right here. Don't be afraid to use Playful Trickster to avoid that damage. It has a fairly short cooldown. It's not crazy short at level 2, but it's shorter than his main damaging abilities. So it'll be up every time he wants to hit you with his Q. Okay, so this was warded. So at this point, yeah, you just got to be realizing that Vlad has won this lane, and so you're looking to play carefully and farm. Don't do this. This will never work out for you. At this point, he is ahead enough. He has an item advantage and a level advantage. Well, he doesn't have a level advantage right now, but he will soon. This was just never going to work out for you. You can do the initial trade with Urchin Strike was okay, but then Playful Trickster out. That's your only real game, because if you stick around. Even if he hadn't pooled the second half of your Playful Trickster damage, if you stick around, that gives him a chance to actually hit you with his stuff. And if he hits you with his stuff, it's always going to do more damage to you. It's always going to make the trade favorable for him, because he's ahead, and because he has sustain built into his abilities. So when you've lost a lane like this, and you got to recognize it as early as possible when you've lost a lane. This one's pretty easy to see because you're down a kill and you're down CS. You're down to almost 2 kills worth of gold. Just gonna see if that math is about right. 1800, yep, 2 kills worth of gold. This is to 2400, so you're 600 gold down, which is 2 kills. That is assuming that he's actually gone back and spent that gold, which he has for the most part. That's the lane. It's over. There's no play you can make. All he has to do is play correctly, and your margin for error is way smaller than his. Like, because he's ahead, he can make some mistakes that you are not able to punish, and you don't have to make a very big mistake at all for him to be able to punish you. So you got to play super conservative, just focus on farm, and you're looking to make plays elsewhere. You're looking to capitalize on a mistake if he gets antsy and dives you, which is not uncommon. Or you're looking to roam bot. Fizz has a pretty sick roam game. So Playful Trickster out immediately. Oh, okay. That was good. That was good. You had your ult ready to go. I'm surprised he didn't use his ult early. I think he got overconfident there. So, in all seriousness, he should still have won that trade, I think. If he had hit you with his ult and then pooled and ignited you, I think you would have been toast. So, he underestimated your damage output, and you managed to pick up a kill there, so that is good. That doesn't mean it was the correct move, though. It's the kind of thing that only worked out because he screwed up. And he didn't screw up until you'd committed. And so that's just kind of the thing that you just got to be thinking about. When you're down in a lane, if he had not screwed up, you would have lost that trade. At best case scenario, you would have gone 1 for 1. But I think he would have just straight up died. And so he did screw up, and so it ended up working out. But you had, by the time he screwed up, you were already fully committed to it. And so whether he screws up or not, you're already committed. You can't change your mind anymore. You need to wait until he makes a mistake before you make your move. Because the other 8 times out of 10, he won't make that mistake, and you'll die, and you'll be even further behind. Because when Vlad is ahead, there's some, I mean, any champion that gets ahead, but some champions in particular that tend to just get out of control when they're fed. Your team, you and your team can come back from Vlad having a CS lead. Like, him having, almost 20 CS lead is a bummer. It's negative for you guys, definitely. But you can come back from this. What you can't come back from is Vlad having a 3 or 4 kill lead and a CS lead. And so you got to be thinking to yourself, I need to do everything I can to minimize the possibility that Vlad picks up kills. And that means if you're going to go all in and try to pick up a kill yourself, it has to be, you have to have 100% confidence that you're going to get the kill and not him. It can't be a going to go in here and see what happens type of thing, or going to go in here because I think I can outplay him kind of a thing, or because I'm pretty sure he's going to make a mistake kind of thing. No, wait till he already has made the mistake. Because what you did, I'm just going to harp on this a little bit again, what you did was go in and commit to the all-in before you knew if he was going to mess up. But if Vlad had played that right, from the opposite perspective, that's exactly what you want him to do. You want him to commit before you have messed up. And so, when he commits, if he commits on you, like if he turret dives you or something, that's his mistake, and you can punish that. Look at the turret. Oh, this is risky. Okay. Good. Okay, so overall, that was good. The... that's the other kind of mistake you can make. It's not just one of a 1v1 mistakes if Vlad like turret dives you or does something stupid like that. If he's overextending and not warding properly, that's just as big of a mistake, and so that's also easy for you to jump in and capitalize on. Good. Nicely done. Good roam. Oh, do dragon though. Do dragon, do dragon, do dragon, do dragon. Ping, 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 ping. Oh no, this is free. Ermagerd. Shit. If you pull off a successful gank like that bot lane, that's just a gigantic waste. This is criminal. Okay, so those kills are good. Getting you a double kill, that's pretty massive, because now you have the ability to finish a major item at about the same time that Vlad is finishing his. So that's a big deal, and it's not meaningless. But especially as the game goes on, this is true. Kills in and of themselves are not enough of a victory. You need to be able to translate that into something else. You need to be able to translate that into vision control of an area, or translate that into a turret taken down, or translate that into dragon. When you get a kill like this, you've created a massive numbers advantage. All 3 of them are dead, and you have 4 people who are right here able to go to dragon. You know Jax is top. You know Vlad is mid. So why not go take dragon right now? These 3 people are dead. There's no one that can stop you. If Vlad comes down, you 4v1 him. This is free. So those kills are nice and they give you a nice injection of gold, but if you don't translate that into a map objective, then it's a waste. In theory you buy an item and that translates into a future map objective, but that's, that you don't know for sure if you're going to get those map objectives, so why not capitalize on the one that's right here in front of you that's for free? Always be looking for that. If you win a fight, always, always, always look and see what objective you can immediately go and take, or objectives if you can get more than one. Okay. Yep, and you can be aggressive now. Okay. So sloppy on both sides. Okay. So, once again, you kind of put yourself in a position where you get lucky and pick up the kill. So, you both screwed up like 3 times in a row, and you just happen to be the one that came out on top. That's not a good trade to put yourself in. That's not the kind of situation you want to put yourself in. You want to wait until you know that you can win that trade. So you hold on to Playful Trickster until he ults, so that you can use it to dodge the... Or I guess that doesn't dodge the... Never mind, that doesn't dodge the damage. I guess that doesn't dodge damage that's already on you. But you can look to use Playful Trickster to try to dodge his... when he casts his ult, or his Q. So you can go in and then use that to dodge a key ability, not just for the damage part of it. You know, you don't put yourself in a position where you know he's going to pool, so don't put yourself in a position where when he pools, you have to flash to get out and survive. You know what you have the ability to time his ignite cooldown, you have the ability to time his ultimate cooldown. Don't put yourself in a place where if he casts the abilities you know he's going to cast when you go in on him, you're going to have to flash to get out and survive. Think that trade through. Think what you're doing through ahead enough to, or you have kind of a plan for what you're going to do when you go in. You're going to go in, you're going to cast this ability, he's likely going to do this, and then in response to that, you're going to do this, and so on and so forth. So he pools, so right now you're thinking, okay, and there's Jax, so you gotta go. Have a plan to kill Vlad before you go in. And have that plan be something that's a little bit more complete than I'm going to go in and hit him with my abilities until he dies. Because if you go in and just wing it, then you're just trusting to luck. You're trusting that he's going to mess up more than you mess up. And while in this game, Vlad has messed up more than you have both of those times, you don't want to ever put your, the health of your lane into his hands. You want to keep it in your hands. You want to outsmart him, not hope that you get lucky versus him. It's unfortunate. You picked up a pretty good kill there, though. You might have been able to take Lee Sin if you played it a little bit more aggressively. But maybe not. It was risky. This Jax is going to become a problem. I foresee it. Oops. Oh, that was a good play. Nice. Oh, nice flash though. You're gonna lose mid. So the other annoying thing about Vlad is that he has crazy good wave clear. So you have to be real careful about leaving mid lane. Oh, dude, yeah, you can't. Always assume that his ult is up. You know what his ability combo is. He's got a Q which does nuke damage to you and heals him. He's got a pool which makes him untargetable and gives him a little bit of damage while you're in it. He's got his ult which is a debuff and causes him to do more damage to you and then does a little bit of damage at the end. So you know what he's got, and when you go in on him, you know what he's gonna do. So if you go in on him half health, like what's gonna happen? That's just, I mean, it's just at that point it's just math. Like all of Vlad's abilities are just dead frickin' simple to hit. He almost can't mess up his damage combo. He has to work real hard to mess up his damage combo. So when you go in on him, you know he's going to cast his damage combo. And so why are you going in on him at half health? Like what's gonna happen there? Just math-wise. You know, well, you're gonna die. That's what happened. So think that through. Is that really a good risk to take? Is that really gonna get you where you want to go? Just because you beat him, just because you have the ability to beat him 1v1 does not mean that you can beat him 1v1 in any situation, no matter what. It means that when you identify the situation correctly and play it smart, you can beat him. He does not have to get down on his knees and beg for his life every time you walk onto the screen. Okay, moving forward a little bit. So at this point, they've taken Dragon a few minutes ago. I don't know if you guys have a timer. You should have a timer though, because you can hear Dragon go down almost always. And so it's pretty easy to time it. It's a 6-minute cooldown. So you should know that Dragon's coming up in about 10 minutes, or 10 seconds. So by now, you would have wanted to establish vision control. And you have a couple of wards, but it would be nice to have even a couple of more, like in here and up in here. So that, because they're going to go do Dragon now after they push this, whether they win it or not. Well, they should anyway. Yep, they're pinging it. Okay, so their 80 carry is down, that's really good. There goes Sona ult when it's not really useful, that's also good. This is free Dragon for you guys. So, kill Sona. Good, using Playful Fixture to dodge the Jack stun, that's good. Good, kill Sona. Kill Sona. Good. And Jax. Okay, free Dragon. Good. Good overall. Okay, so now you're looking at the map, you're seeing the top lane is pushing. This probably won't go down all on its own quite yet. It's not quite late enough game, but it's going to get a lot of damage on it. It might go down if they continue to ignore it. You're seeing that bot lane is in a similar situation, though not quite as dire, so somebody needs to go deal with that. This is the kind of thing you want to be setting up mid-game, though. So, if you can set up slow pushes in either lane, or both ideally, before you go for a major objective like that, so that's kind of part of setting up for Dragon. You set up vision control, you want to get vision, you want to have a ward in this bush, maybe in this entrance over here. And then if you can send somebody up to top lane and get a slow push going, like happened here, and then if you can send somebody down to bot lane and get a slow push going here, and you get a slow push by having more minions, or even when it's this far on your side of the map, even just having the even 6 versus 6 minions, it'll naturally push. So, but even more so if you have a minion advantage, if it's 6 and you kill like 2 of the enemy wave, so it's 6v4, it will naturally build up and slow push into a pretty gigantic wave by the time it gets to like here, and then the enemy team has to deal with it. They have to send somebody to deal with it, and if they don't, because if they don't, it's going to do serious damage to their turrets. And so that can really free you up to take an objective here, to take mid tower, or you can set a big slow push up top so you can go get bot. Or if you're looking to push a team fight, you can do that so that you potentially create a 4v5 because you've got these 2 gigantic mini waves split pushing for you. So you want to start looking up to set up the map like that. And it can be you, it can be your teammate, you can ask somebody to do it, go get the sides rolling and then let's push. So right now, they have the gold advantage because they have 2 more turrets than you. But you guys, you won that last fight. You're doing okay that way. All of your vision, though, is on your side of the map. And you don't have that much down in the first place. So they've got pretty good warding into here. They got a ward of this entrance. They've got a ward of your red buff, which is about to expire. They don't have a lot of wards in their jungle, but you don't have a lot of wards anywhere. You've got a ward here that's about to expire, and a ward there. So you've got a ward in this river, and you've got a ward in this river, and then you've got this thing. And then you're pink, I guess. So, but these three are kind of overlapping a lot, and so you're kind of just have one area warded here. That can be pretty much covered by just having a single ward like right here, for the most part. And you've got a ward here, and then I guess here for some reason. So you're warding really defensively, and it's not a bad idea that since you have both mid turrets down to ward this area and this area. This is fine, but why not get some vision, because you're wanting to push this turret next, and so you need to have vision up here as well. So for vision, you want to be looking to, as you move into mid-game vision, you want to carpet bomb an area of the map that's likely to be the next contested area. So if dragon's up and that's going to be the next thing, you want to get vision control of the dragon area. So their team's entrances to the dragon pit, vision on dragon itself, and making sure that you have denied as much of their vision as possible. If mid turret's the next thing, if you're going to want to fight for this mid turret, then you need to have vision on your flanks. You need a ward in here, and you need a ward here, and then also in the river. So you're not so far ahead. Actually, you're not ahead at all. You're not ahead, and so you don't want to just start pushing crazy vision into here. This isn't really useful anyway at all. You want to get vision this deep, other than just purely for like during laning phase, you can do a deep ward like this to get jungler information. But at mid game, you want vision around the area of battle, I guess. And so a ward here, and a ward here, and a ward here, and a ward here. That's the vision you want, at least. Always want more than that. You know, it's nice to have vision all the way up in here and all around all the way over all these other things too. But at least those areas, so that as you're pushing this turret, which is the next thing you want to do, then you have vision of your flanks so they can't collapse on you from one side or the other. Okay, so you do not have Vayne, and they do not have Lee, but you probably don't know for sure they don't have Lee. Oh, kill him. Oh my gosh, kill him. Oh, kill him so hard. Team, collapse. He was so out of position. That was a Thresh Hook and a Dead Jax. When you see somebody out of position like that, just spam ping them. Like, your team won't always respond correctly, but you can at least encourage them to do the right thing. Dude, throw your fish out. Throw your fish out. Why do you still have your fish? Don't just use it just purely as a kill. Like, use it as for the CC. It is a massive slow. It's a gigantic zoning tool. Okay, I'm gonna look at this fight again. There were a bunch of things that could have gone better in this fight. Okay, so you're looking at the map. I don't know. You don't know for sure where Lee is, but it turns out he's not with the team. You can see that he's not immediately with the team, at least, and you have enough vision on your flanks that you know he's not like lurking off to the side somewhere. He's somewhere, and it's going to take him a few seconds to get to the team. Worst case scenario, he's like somehow hiding over here or something. You also know that your Vayne isn't here, and she's a fairly big part of your team fight. So it's a 4v4. And Vayne is at least several seconds away, and Lee is at least a few seconds away. So at this point, you got to be thinking to yourself, worst case scenario is Lee shows up a few seconds before Vayne if we decide to all in. So at that point, you will correctly identify, we don't really want to all in right now, we want to wait till they make a mistake. The primary kinds of mistakes are overextensions and people who are kind of coming late to the team fight. So look at this. Look at this. Oh my gosh, kill him. Jump on him. Throw your fish on him right here. You throw your fish on him, that's a massively easy Thresh Hook. Trundle sets up his pillar, and this guy is toast before any of his team can respond. Maybe Sona like flash ults or something. But this is the kind of mistake you got. At very least, you do massive damage to him. So for some reason, he's allowed to walk freely around here, even though you guys, I mean, what's going to happen? If you collapse here and you chase him into this area, what are they going to do? They have to follow you all the way around here. They can't just pincher you or collapse on you. They got to come all the way back and around here, too, to chase you. And so if he's going to walk this way, I'm not sure why Thresh doesn't hook him. But you just spam pings on him, because this guy is dead if you guys play it right. So Thresh runs away, you go in and get some damage done to you. So now you got to reevaluate. You know all 5 of them are here. Your team is really spread out. Vayne is not there at all. Trundle's out of position. So it's pretty much just you three. You got you, Thresh, and Rengar. And there's really not a realistic scenario in which you guys are able to make that work. So so this is where, like, throw your fish out just right here. Like, get in position to throw your fish out right here. It is such a gigantic zoning tool. People are terrified of that thing. If you are able to hit Sona or Lee with it, one of them will likely back off, at least. Plus the fact that it's a slow, which might give Rengar enough time to escape. But yeah, use your fish. So in this scenario and then kind of again here, you're kind of waiting for them to recover from their mistake before you jump on them. So Jax was super out of position, but you kind of waited until they were all back up and grouped before you jumped on them. And then down here, you're kind of holding off until, you know, Vlad was out of position, and then you end up holding off until they all kind of regroup and push out again before you commit hard enough to actually get a kill. You got to be looking for people overextending and making mistakes like that in fights. And you got to be looking for it so that you can punish it immediately and not have to just wait. Okay, I'm going to speed up a bit. Get through some of the mid game here. You almost get mid turret, that's good. You gotta look at Vlad pushing bot though. You guys can't afford to just be dinking around in mid lane when Vlad is pushing bot. So now Rengar goes bot, so you guys need to back off and play it safe, because as soon as something like that happens, the enemy team is going to look to push, which they do. You guys managed to back off, so that's good. You guys do not have vision control over your jungles right now, though. So right now, I know I talked about earlier about getting vision up around this area, but the situation has changed. They have the momentum now because you guys lost a fight down here, and so they're looking to push. They have the momentum both because they are actually ahead and because they think they are ahead. One does not necessarily go with the other, but in this case they are actually ahead and they think they're ahead. So because of those two things, they are going to push, and so you need to have vision control of your jungles. There's going to be fights in here, there's going to be people overextending in here, there's going to be people who are out of position in here. You want to make sure that you have vision control of the jungle and try to disrupt their vision control of the jungle. Because right now they can just move around freely and you don't even know where they are. You have no idea where Jax is until right now. Now you know he's gone. So right now you know that Jax is not here, and so you know that there's at most 4 people here. If you had known that when Jax was here, you could have already been setting up a comeback fight. Or setting up something, you know. Maybe you don't choose to fight in this particular situation, but that information is power. Someone's out of position, but the longer it takes to actually kill her, the less likely the kill becomes. Good. You need to go heal. If you had gone to heal, you would be back by now. Not sure why you hesitated there. If you'd gone in immediately, Trundle could have stuck with you. Okay, speeding up a bit. Okay, dragon's back up. You guys do not have... actually, you do have fairly good vision control of the area. For a second, I thought you guys were red, so I was looking at the red wards. But yeah, you guys have fairly good vision control. So that's good. You've got top, which is going to start slow pushing your way, so you need to kind of have a timer in the back of your head on that. You want to be pinging mid. You need Vayne to take it down, so you don't have to overcommit and get into melee range. That's the kind of situation where you go in. Oh, especially their 80 carries did. Why didn't you guys go in? Oh my gosh, this is so free. Like, okay, so you've CC'd two of their big initiators. You can all collapse on either one of them, or collapse right onto Vlad. Just delete him, or you jump into the back and kill Sona or something. It's a 4v5 right now. Like, and you landed two of your big CC abilities. Why are you running from this? You're kind of giving their team a lot of respect they haven't earned, especially since it's 4v5, since Misfortune was dead. Rengar's ulting, that's your cue to make a play. Hit Vlad with your ult, Ermagerd. Okay. Overall, that was okay. They're pretty strong right now, so yeah, making a play there is definitely a bit risky. But you at least want to be looking for the opportunity. Okay, I'm just going to speed through a little bit of this. There's already some good things for you to be working on. Okay, good. Good catch. That was him out of position. I'm not sure where your team is. Okay, kill Jax. Sona's ult is down, so you can kind of ignore her if you feel like you can get to one of the other ones easily. Almost landed your fish. Here's your ult again. Good. Yeah, so now you should be able to pick this up. Baron is risky at this point. Okay, now you need to back off immediately. Back off immediately. Back off. Back off. Back off and kill Jax. Oh my gosh, this kind of thing is so dangerous. Okay, so you ended up securing it. So the thing with this sort of situation is that whenever you are doing Baron and you are hoping that you'll be able to secure it, your jungler, Rengar, I think it's Rengar, yeah, is sitting here and he's thinking about the team that's about to jump on him. He's thinking about where his own positioning is. He's thinking about his teammate. He's thinking about the fight that's going to happen after the Baron goes down. And he's thinking about watching Baron's health so that he can land Smite. Lee Sin is thinking about one single thing, landing Smite to steal Baron. And so that's why you see Baron steals happen all the time, is because your jungler is thinking about a lot of things and having to keep track of a lot, while their jungler can laser focus on one single thing, killing Baron, or stealing Baron. So that's the kind of situation where when Jax comes in, just delete him. Just nuke the sucker. Don't give him a free pass to do that, because all he has to do then is just sit here while Baron knocks the crap out of you guys, and then he can jump in to clean up, and his teammate can follow up right with him. So again, you kind of take a big gamble on finishing Baron there. Doing Baron in general was risky, but when people start showing up, you got to either book it or you got to fight. Unless Baron is like literally like like 1,000 health from dying. You guys are looking at your turrets and ignoring the Nexus. You're gonna lose a Nexus turret. Never mind, the minion AI is crazy. Okay, so you know you don't have Trundle. Hopefully he's communicating to you that he has his teleport. You're pushing up mid, which is good because that's a lane without an inhibitor, so you're pushing the super minions right back to where they came from. That's good. This is really risky now, though, because you know that as soon as you start attacking the turret, they're going to collapse on you. So you managed to kill it pretty fast there, and that's good, but you got to just be aware. As soon as they start showing up, you got to back off. And the other thing you didn't do, though, because you're not going to be able to tell when they're going to be showing up unless they all charge down out of base, which they're unlikely to do. You know, a smart player, there's at least going to be at least one smart guy waiting off to the flanks, usually. So as you're pushing down here, you want to get a ward in right about here, or both preferably, or in this push, and in this push. At least one on each flank, so that as the enemy team looks to collapse on you, you will have vision of them moving in, and can take steps to avoid getting caught out. Okay, I'm just gonna skip this fight. Rengar, dude. Rengar's doing the work. Solo's dragon. That was hot. Okay, so right now there's not an easy objective mid, so yeah, you want to rotate to where there's an easy objective. So you got mid pushing, top is pushing. You're over chasing now. Anytime somebody running into their jungle, they are almost 100% of the time running to their team, and their team is running to them. So you want to be really, really, really careful about chasing people into their jungles. Good, nice dive to the backline to take out Misfortune. Nice Zhonya's. Nice, that was really well played. Okay, Jax is getting big. He actually always has been big, he's just exercising it now. So far the main takeaways, you need to improve your risk assessment. And thinking about, and your expected value out of trades. So if you are able early lane phase to trade with Vlad, and say you go even, you still got to ask yourself what's your expected value. So if you go even with Vlad, well, Vlad has a lot of sustain, and he brought a lot of potions to the lane. So is taking a risky trade worth it, or do I need to hold off until a great trade makes itself available? So, if I go all in on him right now, can I for sure kill him before he kills me? In both of the cases where you went all in, you didn't ask or answer that question, and you got lucky in one, not you outplayed him in one. The first time because he got too cocky, and then the second time you were able to dance back, and then Rengar came in and helped you finish the kill. So this is a turret destroying wave. This is the power of slow pushing. because now it's going to even get another one. So there's going to be 4 cannon minions knocking at your base's door here, along with a lot of casters. Okay, so right now the big, dragon is coming up. You guys do have a nice dragon advantage, so this would be really nice to secure. You also know that Baron is up and available, so you don't want to leave this without vision or hard commit on the bottom side of the map. Dragon's about as far as you want to go down, because if you go any further, then you risk giving up Baron if they're able to sneak in and take it quickly. I'm kind of glossing over these team fights because they're super chaotic, and they're kind of coming down to who messes up harder. Honestly, you're playing them okay. You're going for good targets. You're making some good moves. You're cleaning up kills, and you're dancing out of damage. So you're not doing anything that's just massively wrong by any stretch. Well, other than that, I mean, he's sitting on a ward. You know he's there. So I'm not sure why you were here. That's just greed. But the big takeaways from this game so far are, yeah, the stuff that happened in laning phase. You gave up an awful lot of CS due to being late to lane, and you gave up an awful lot more due to picking some pretty unfavorable trades. So, you can do the math on what your opponent is able to do. You don't have to get it perfect, but if you can even get it close, then you can estimate whether it's safe to go in for a trade or not. You can look at Vlad, you can look at his abilities, you can look him up on the LoL wiki, and you can get a pretty accurate guesstimate of how much damage he's able to pump out versus how much damage you're able to pump out. And then you take into account all of the various abilities that he has in terms of, he can go untargetable, and his ult is a big debuff, and etc, etc. If you're able to take all of that into account, then you can make an accurate decision on whether right now is a good time to trade or not. So this is a good time for Baron because you've got a gigantic minion wave top, so at least one person of theirs is going to want to go deal with that. So your team does pick up Baron. You join mid, which is pretty good. It was good that you took care of this lane, or this wave bot. You should have pushed it a little bit harder though. It's going to take forever to start pushing their way. Okay, this isn't quite the game. You're low, you need to go back. This is greed, this is greed. There's no reason to be mid right now. There's no objectives to get mid. You are not realistically going to get these turrets. There's 2 of them, their whole team is up, or most of their team is up. There's just no scenario in which you're able to actually take these Nexus turrets. So how much better is it, to just come do Dragon way sooner? Or rotate bot and push this. As soon as mid goes down, leave mid. There's no reason to stick around as soon as the inhibitor goes down. Go find something more important to do, like taking bot, or taking Dragon, or whatever the case is. A lot of teams, after they take inhibitor, this is really common, especially in lower elo. As soon as they take the inhibitor, they stick around, and they want to look for a fight, and they want to try to fight. And it's just so wrong. You probably already want to fight to get to the inhibitor, so you're probably at least a little bit low in missing abilities. They all are about to respawn from their fountain. So unless you know that they're dead for another 20-30 seconds after you take the inhib, then just book it. Protect your lead. Don't give them an opportunity to get back in the game because of a throw. warding has been really inconsistent this game. You have moments where the warding is pretty good, but there's also large chunks of time where it's friggin' terrible. So that's something you can try to help with, is just make sure that you're doing your part to have good vision put down. I see that you upgraded your yellow trinket a while ago. That's highly commendable. Always, always, always do that. So this is kind of what you're kind of got to do right now. You have a pretty unfortunate team for sieging. Like, the only person who can even remotely siege is Vayne, and she's not particularly good at it. So that's harsh. So in this situation, you gotta look what the objectives are. This inhibitor's up, and this turret's up, and this inhibitor's up. So, what is the most low-hanging fruit right now for your team? Well, you've got super minions here, and so if you just hang tight and stall, those minions are going to push in, and they're going to start pressuring this turret, which is already low. So if you guys can just sit back here and just pressure this inhibitor, eventually someone's going to have to go up here and clear this wave. It's not even going to be that long. It's going to be like another 10 seconds or so. Maybe a little longer before it gets to here. This one is, yeah. Oh, take the one that's right in front. What are you doing? Take the inhibitor. Ah! Take the inhibitor. If all they send is Sona to you, then you can just delete her. That's Sona build. Fair enough. Oh boy. You guys left the super minions for too long. So this one really hurts to lose because you guys were actually doing really good toward the end. Wait, did you guys surrender? That looked like a surrender. That was not a good surrender, if that's what that was. Okay, so early on, let's just kind of recap things, some kind of primary takeaways here. So overall, you actually have a pretty good grasp of Fizz, it seems like. What you need to improve on is just having a plan for each trade. And then, you know, as you move through the game, a plan for the team fight, a plan for map pressure. You need to be thinking ahead. In lane phase, you want to try to be thinking ahead about 3 seconds or so. And that just, and all that really means is, you know, what's my opponent going to do next? What ability is he going to catch next? What's going to be coming up off a cooldown? What's he likely to do if I go all in? Does he have Ignite? Does he have his ult? You know, you want to be thinking those things through. If you need to answer those questions before you hard commit. If you cannot satisfactorily answer those questions, then you're going into a really unsafe spot and are likely going to put yourself in danger. And in this game, you put yourself in a position where it came down to just kind of dumb luck as to whether it was you or Vlad died. You know, who messes up more? And since, you know, and again, this game it worked out a couple of times in your favor, but a champion like Vlad, it is really, really, really easy for him to land his whole combo. Your combo relies on your ult, which is a skill shot, which it's not the most difficult skill shot in the game by a stretch, but it's also not point and click by any stretch. So, you know, if you go in, you know, think about trying to bait out Vlad's ult before you actually go all in. So make it look like you're going to go all in, but then Playful Trickster his ult and just back off as soon as his ult's down. Now you can go all in because you have your ult and he doesn't. That kind of thing. Warding needs to be improved. Just overall, as the team moves into mid game, you got to make sure you're doing your part to get wards down in contested areas of the map. So honestly, that's the big takeaway is the laning stuff, though. Is just risk assessment in the lane and protecting your lead. Get to lane on time. Make sure you're not giving up early lane pressure. That's massive. That'll set the tone for the rest of the game. Honestly, is what that can often do. If your lane opponent gets ahead, sit tight and do not force plays. Wait for him to make a mistake. Wait for him to overextend, or wait for your jungler to come in and gank him. And then when you do decide to go all in, make sure it's a situation where you are confident that you will win it, no matter what he does. So think through what he's able to do. Make sure that you are going to win the all in no matter what he does. If you are not confident you would win no matter what he does, then don't go all in. Just farm. Wait for him to go back. Wait for your jungler. Push the lane when you can. Roam when you can, and avoid giving him, avoid the potential of giving him more kills to snowball into mid game with. Okay, thanks for tuning in and giving me a chance to look, or not tuning in. Sorry. Thanks for giving me a chance to look at the game. I really appreciate the opportunity. I hope it helps, and best of luck.